Okay, so what do you think the difference between abuse and discipline is?
For me, um, discipline, I don't even think about abuse. I think about discipline. Discipline takes time, and I think discipline happens over a extended period of time, and so it happens throughout a child's. So it's from the onset. Um, Discipline happens because more time is spent as a parent. I know my husband and I, we've always focused on spending more time on the right thing or the things, staring our children toward a certain direction and giving them proper responses, more so than focusing on what they shouldn't do. So it was always focused, all the energy, it was more focused on how do you treat people, how do you respond to adults, how do you talk to adults. So there was a lot of teaching, a lot of effort, put into that earlier on.
So how do you discipline? How have you disciplined, or how are you disciplined? Was there a difference?
Yes, that's probably fair. I'm single mom. I'm 5 girls, single mom. So discipline was like you do what I say do, and she's working most of the time. So which means a lot of the discipline fell on the older sister. That was a 10-year span. So this is what Mama said do, and then this is what you're supposed to do. So you get told on when Mom got home, and if you didn't do it, so we kind of kept each other in line a lot.
Was it all verbal, or have you ever I know we all had the wooden spoon.
If it ever had to get back to Mom, you were getting that belt or the switch. See, I grew up out in the country, so this is the worst part: is the walk to the tree, because you had to pick out your own. Had the switch tree, and she had beautiful switches, and then you had to go and pick the switch. Then you watch, the time. There's time because you have to pull the leaves off. So there's a whole thing going on, you're rethinking everything that you've done, and it's But I think about that, and also I grew up in the country. There was my grandma, cousins, everybody. So everyone, all the adults pretty much had authority over all the children. So my mom worked, but for the most part, anyone who caught the child doing wrong could discipline that child. And then it would always get back to the parent, and then there may be another discipline. So that being said, I don't remember. I remember some of those, but I don't remember a lot of those because I remember so much more of the other stuff. Because again, and that's probably where, in my mind, how discipline falls, because I remember being taught what to do, how to say. There was a lot more time spent on what was expected of me, the appropriate behavior versus, there was no negative, I didn't feel like a bad child, I was never made to feel like a bad child or something was wrong with me or I didn't think right. It was always, I did something and I kind of knew what it was when I did it, and I may have regretted it, but I also may as well go ahead and get prepared to take the discipline for it. And so and I think that is projected and has been on my children. So they I'd much rather have them know and fill their time up with being a productive citizen and doing what's expected from us teachers, and rather than spend time trying to skirt around to figure out what they can get away with.
So when you were hit and however you were disciplined, did you ever think it could be abuse without you getting abused? But did you ever consider it at all? Abuse? Never. Even though abuse part of abuse is just leaving a mark on someone's body.
There were marks, because those little switches, you have the little whip marks on your leg. You knew that.
And if we saw that today, we would look and we would be like, whoa. So that's how we're trying to define the line, because there is no real line between the two, because in different cultures and different people, how people were raised and ages, every case is different. So that's what we're trying to argue, is that there's no real line between it.
There's no real line, and the only thing that's real is the balance of it. You know what I mean? There's a balance. And it's gonna change from father to mother, because mothers, we're probably not going to be physically,
yeah.
There's going to be a lot more of, you know what, you take time to think about this. I need this and I need that, and we're cutting this out, and this is going to happen and that's going to happen. So we're kind of lining up, the disciplined marriages, whereas, men, it's like, they did what, and there's maybe a little more emotional, so maybe, but the balance of it in any individual, I think there has to be balance. I mean, you can have the most loving parents, but if all you're doing is disciplining, and sometimes, you say physical abuse, but sometimes the mental, can, you've got kids who lived and they grew up to be really balanced adults, and they were physically disciplined, and then you've got some who are very, and they never had the physical aspect of it, but the mental. The mental abuse, just being made to feel down or loathe, So I think there is a lot to take into consideration. And I think you shortchange the issue when you say, okay, the physical abuse is the bad stuff, and you don't even take into consideration that.
All the forms of it.
Yeah, all the forms of abuse. All the forms of abuse. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's basically it. Thank you.
Thank you.